Respected Sir MD Mustafa Aziz Shahin, Lecturer, Port and Shipping Management, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Maritime University. And my dear coursemates and viewers, very good evening. Assalamu alaikum. Today, I am going to discuss on the topics factors influencing the environment during hazardous goods transportation by sea. Yes, sir. I am MD Mushfiqur Rahman. My ID number 232120004. Program Masters of Port and Shipping Management, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Maritime University. Here is a presentation outlines. The presentation outlines the introductions, definitions of dangerous goods, classification of dangerous goods, DG cargo handling documentation, DG cargo consignment procedure, overview of dangerous posed by such goods to marine environment, hazard identifications, chemical accidents during transportation, step of environment protection, methods of environment protections, regulations and the guidelines, environment impact assessment, best practice and case studies, conclusions, and the cautionary answer. First of all, introductions. Over 80% of commerce volume is carried by sea, making it essential to global freight movements. It's the most economical way to ship big load of cargo around the globe, which makes it essential for global trade, economic expansions, and the market accessibility. This highest the significance of competence, maritime law, and infrastructure. Definition of dangerous goods. Dangerous goods are items or substances that pose risks to health, safety, property, or the environment during transportations, like wellway products, chemical products, minerals, fire, explosions, spillage, injury, faulty, contamination, marine life degradation, radioactives. DG means the substance and the materials and the article covered by IMDG code. Its implement also the IMO. Chapter 7 from the Solus influence the creation and the content of IMDG codes. Here is a mention in what are the system following for the DG cargo handling in a container based on the classifications, and I will explain more details in the next slides. The classification of dangerous goods. The classification of dangerous goods, 9 hazardous class and divisions. Class 1 is the explosives, class 2 gaseous, class 3 flammable liquids, class 4 flammable solids, class 5 oxiding substance and organic peroxides, class 6 toxic and infectious substance, class 7 radioactive material, class 8 corrosive substance, class 9 miscellaneous dangerous substance and articles. IMDG code classified goods are classified based on their properties. This cargo classification is made by the consigner or the shipper or by the appropriate competent authority. How can handling the DG cargo? And the DG cargo needs to the few documentation in the whenever the handlings. First one, any cargo handling of dangerous goods need to the technical data sheet, material safety data sheets, or sometimes if required the printed literature. I mean the whenever needs any uh, any food related DG cargoes, it's required the printed literature, and others is the commerce documents, invoice, packing list, bill of lading, the country of origin, naval permissions need whenever the DG cargo, the CCI, Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Export certifications for the import of DG cargo, and the payment reference, the letter of credit and telegraphic transfer copy, and the insurance cover notes required for the handling DG cargo. 5 primary responsibilities the DG cargo handling: classify first, then the communicate, then the packaging, and the store, and the final is segregated. DG consignment procedure. How can process the DG consignment? First one is the classification of the goods. Check if the goods can be transported. and if special condition apply. Segregation requirements, selection of the collection, correct packaging, class and packing groups, and the marking and labeling the goods in accordance with the appropriate codes, so that easily understand this is the DG cargo based on the label or markings. And sixth, provide DG declaration. Additional information if required should be checked. If required, any additional informations needs to check for the DG cargo shipments. Pack CTU, according to segregation requirements and documentation, container packing certificate. Level of CTU, container units with class placards here with the UN number. Overview of dangers posed by such goods to the marine environment. Ocean pollution kills more than 1 million seabirds each year. So toxic communication harming aquatic lives, ecosystem damage and disruption for chains, risks of fire and explosion due to recent fire and explosion it's happened, long-term ecological consequence, the pollution from the spill and lakes. Hazard identifications. Hazard here is the hazard identification in a cause of accidents. There is a several segment. The human is like fatigue driving, importer avoidance, and the fasting driving, and so on, many on. And then a vehicle, then a vehicle related tank equipment failure, valve loss, and tank damage, and like on the below various things. And the environment issues is the downhill roads, slippery roads, turning roads, and loads. These types of matters identification the hazard, and the management also the illegal repeating vehicle, no supercargo, and the failure to clean tank is required the management, and hazardous material as well as accident type. This is the we can identify the hazard identifications. Chemical accident during the transportations. Types of hazard identify. We can identify the various hazard like physical impacts if we considering the explosions, fire, collisions, chemical impacts, leaks, spills, toxic exposure, and so on, many more things. And the main causes of accidents involving dangerous cause, human error, like improper packing, incorrect labeling, inadequate training, and equipment failure, the faulty transportation vehicle, lack of maintenance, the poor infrastructure, inadequate roads, if uh, insufficient safety signs. Step of environment protections. There are various steps for the environment protection, law and regulations that is needed for as per IMO guidelines, SOLA, SMARPOL, and set international standards for the maritime safety and pollution preventions, while the GSH stands the chemical classification and the labeling, enhancing the global safety and trades. And second one is packing and dangerous goods. Now we need to the proper packing for the safe transportations whenever handling the DG cargos. The training of personnel. This is the crucial for those handling and transporting dangerous goods, focusing on the hazard awareness, regulations, knowledge, and the emergency response. Special areas, sometimes PSS are protected through the special measures like routing, strict discharge regulations, safeguard ecological sensitive marine areas from the marine and dangerous goods transportation impacts. Method of environment protection. There are various methods of environment protection, like its contamination is a spilled or response contamination due to various way, like chemical issues, explosions, explosives, and many other things. And the emission control technology, we need to the emission control technology set up for the avoiding any incidents. And the waste management and disposal is also needs for the DG cargo handling based on the cargo types. Regulation and guidelines. There are various regulations and guidelines for the DG cargo handling. And DG cargo especially is very strict, so it's need to the it needs to the very compliance and regulatory matters for the whenever the cargo handling. The first one is, however, the handling the this regulated the compliance of these legal matters as per IMO, International Maritime Organizations, said the one IMDG course, and the International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships, MARPOL. So, and the national environment regulations have training and educations is if they require the for the specialized cargo of DG, it's into the training and education properly for handling and the safe transportation purpose. and the hazardous material and handling training. Hazardous, there is as we know, the 9 classes of hazardous items. So we need to know the proper handling, needs to the training according to the IMDG guideline. Environment impact assessment. How can environment impact on the assessment? Identifying the potential risks. We can find first of all to identify the potential risks. What are the areas and what are the segment and how can identify the potential risks for the digital cargo handling and mitigation measures. If any hazard or risks or accidents or near nearby any incidents or collapse anything regarding on the DG cargo handling, we need to set a mitigation measurement. How can mitigate these issues and monitoring and reporting continuously? We need to monitoring and reporting whenever the DG cargo handling because of it's very important. So best best practice and case studies. The DG cargos, the best practices and the risk assessment tools development. Um, Campaigner is the Australian software company has created a web-based tools that helps the ship's owners assess environment risk of ships transportations using a Wigner's methodology to evaluate the risk based on incidence probable and severity. Proactive industry practice. Companies and the governments employ best practice to minimize the environment impact of hazardous materials with case studies demonstrating effective on the environment protection. Then IMO code assessment. A UK study confirmed the effective of IMO code is reducing the pollutions incidents from the hazardous special category goods transportation, understanding the importance of adherence to the international regulations. Environment advocacy. France motive by the past maritime disaster and the United States through the collaborations and have been the forefront advocacy for the stringent control and innovative solution for the transporting dangerous goods. On the prevention as a key strategy, of course, prevention is a key strategy. Successfully environment protections initiative focus on the prevention, requiring a comprehensive approach from management to operational level, leveraging tools, knowledge, and the skill to address the risks associated with the hazardous cargo. Learning from the past incidents, analyze major shipping incidents, and implementing lesson learned enhance safety and environment standard as shown by industry initiative with the tankers management and self-assessment program and the legislative actions and the innovations. The hazardous materials transportation uniform safety act and sequence the investigation contribute to ongoing improvement in hazardous maritime transportation transport safety environment protection. The conclusions. As we know, if we implement all the things regarding dangerous cargo, the international regulation like IMO standards are crucial for the mitigate sea transportation's risks of hazardous goods. Implementing material safety data sheets effectively reduce the accident risks by informing the crew member about the hazardous substance. Training for career and employee on the documents handling and health safety from land to sea transit. These measures are cost-effective and pivotal for minimizing environmental impact and ensuring the safety, ongoing global cooperation, and adherence to best practices are essential for sustainable and safe hazardous goods transportations. If any questions regards to our presentation topics or any um, questions arise, uh, you can ask me uh, in my YouTube channel link. And I will explain further through the YouTube channel link. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's all today my presentation.